weather update.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for watching News 1226 this morning on WRDW, now streaming live on WRDW+. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Jones. We begin with a first alert weather day for snow coming to most of the CSRA. We have team coverage getting you weather ready bright and early this morning. Your first alert meteorologist Malik Bryant is in Wilkes County this morning right now, waiting for the first few flakes to fall.
But before we get to him, let's go over to first alert meteorologist Chris Still tracking this snow as we are just hours away now from the snowfall. Chris?
Yeah, we are just a few hours away. I think in the Augusta area, we'll probably start to see the flakes flying right around 10 o'clock this morning, and then really picking up for the afternoon. So let's talk more about that first alert weather day that is now in effect. I think up to 5 inches of snow will be possible, if not likely, around the CSRA. Of course, that will create hazardous travel. Then we have extreme cold coming in here tonight and into tomorrow. By this time tomorrow morning, wind chill values down near 0 degrees. So dangerous cold weather is on the way. Here's a look at the winter weather alerts that are in effect. The pink shading there that does include everyone watching this morning is a winter storm warning, and that's issued when 2 inches or more of snow is expected, and that is indeed the case all around the CSRA. And some areas could get even more than that, especially in the South Carolina area and especially up to the north, so Saluda, Edgefield, Aiken County. Major impacts are expected. You could get 6 inches of snow or more as you head into the central part of the state. Farther to the west, enough snow to cause moderate impacts. Power outages are not going to be a big factor here. This will be kind of a powdery snow that just kind of blows around, but a powdery snow, it piles up very quickly as well. Again, the heaviest amounts up to the north and off to the east. This is kind of a rule of thumb here. Down in the blue, you could have a heavy streak of snow that comes in. So just because you're in the 2 to 4 inch area, your 4 inch will be less common down this way. Your 4 inches will be more common the farther north that you go. But in reality, the amounts will probably be kind of scattered around the map. As far as timing goes, again, I think in the heart of the CSRA around 10 o'clock. If you're watching from Wilkes County, maybe 8, 9 o'clock, you'll start to have a few flurries. And those flurries become heavy snow as we head toward the afternoon. Nothing out there right now, but we do have some snow as close as Clemson up toward Greenville in South Carolina, and everything is making its way on to the southeast. There's a look at it there, snow in the North Carolina mountains, but it is beginning to get into the Charlotte area and back into Greenville. Current temperatures are definitely cold enough. We're right around freezing. Some areas even a little below freezing. 32 right now in Evans and 30 at this hour in Saluda. So your dog walk forecast calling for some snow out there today. The pups ought to love that. Definitely the husky there. Ella probably pretty happy about the cold and the snow. We'll talk more about this cold weather headed our way, but this is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, waking up to a feels like temperature of around 3 degrees there in Aiken.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. We'll be on your side during the winter weather with team coverage today. So if you grab your phone right now and scan this code on your screen, that'll take you to the App Store where you can download our News 12 app. Your First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale is going to be live throughout the day with First Alert weather updates. And the rest of our News 12 crew will be spread all throughout our viewing area with updates from the ground. Both Georgia and South Carolina's governors have declared a state of emergency for this weekend. This allows state agencies to transport resources and activate the National Guard. In South Carolina, state agencies can start moving resources and the National Guard can be activated to help where needed. It'll be easier for the commercial vehicles to drive since some rules and regulations are suspended to get efforts moving faster.
And Georgia's state of emergency allows GEMA to activate the State Operations Center and the National Guard if needed. The Department of Transportation can also use more resources to make sure the roads are safe. And both the declarations are important because the snow is expected to be here soon in some counties. Your First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant joining us live this morning in Wilkes County.
Yeah, you and your photog got there last night, Malik. Early morning, just needing some snow out there.
Yep, it's already more than 10 degrees cooler than what we got here last night here in Wilkes County. We're on the front lines here, the northern front, if you want to call it, here of the CSRA before we get the snow. This should be one of the first locations in the entirety of the CSRA to see snow today. Last time I checked, right above freezing, inching ever so closer to that mark there, seeing some locations like Chris Still just said. Hey, some locations north of us starting to see that snow and waiting for it to slowly trickle further and further south here in Washington. So historic site here. If you've ever been to Washington, it's one of my favorite places in the CSRA, just because really there's so much history here, and history be made again just to watch that and see that when there's going to be snow on the ground. So again, waiting for the first flurries to fall. We're out here doing our snow dance, not just for the snow to come, but to also stay warm out here as well.
And Malik, I got to ask you, you're a Georgia boy born and raised down there in South Georgia and went to school here. This is a kind of a rarity for you. How are you feeling with all this snow coming our way?
Dude, how am I feeling? I'm absolutely excited. I'm through the roof here. As my high school football coach would say, I'm jacked up. And so I'm jacked up on Mountain Dew out here. So I'm excited to see the snow begin to fall out here on the front lines. The first flake, trust me, you'll know when the first flake falls. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you pretty loud, that we finally got the first flake to fall in the CSRA coming up here in just a couple of hours.
All right, looking forward to it. We'll check back in with you as that snow gets closer. Thanks, Malik. Moving a little closer to home here, you can expect to see GDOT crews out in a few hours working to keep the roads safe. We were out getting a first-hand look at how this brine is created and hearing the Department of Transportation's plans for salting the interstates and those highly traveled roads. Ready to go at the first hint of snow today.
As soon as it does and it's accumulating, they're going to start hitting I-20. We're going to have plow teams staged along I-20 in Augusta and Thompson. It's going to be snowing all day, it looks like, so it could take multiple passes for them to get it clear. So just because they come by, that doesn't mean the road is clear and safe.
Remember to give crews plenty of space today. If you are out on the roads, they will not be treating the left-hand lanes of the interstates as well. So if you do have to travel, those lanes could be a little bit slicker than the ramps and the right lanes. The brine will become less effective as the temperatures drop too, something to keep in mind.
Well, we're moving now to South Carolina with a live look from our sister station, WHNS, over in downtown Greenville this morning. It's one area that saw some of the heavier impacts from last week's winter storm. Well, right now we are not seeing any snowfall there just yet, but SCDOT has this advice for anyone that may travel in this winter weather today.
Travel in snow and ice can be dangerous. It can be hazardous. Well, we encourage, once the snow starts to fall, we encourage people to stay home and to avoid travel at all costs. But if they have to travel, travel with some common sense and caution.
And that echoes what your First Alert weather team has been telling you. But if you do have to drive, make sure to give plenty of stopping distance since it takes longer to stop in snow and ice. And should you have to drive today or tomorrow, just slow down, keep your distance from other cars in front of you, and stay alert. If your tires begin to skid, look and steer in the direction that you want to go. That may be the right side for road safety. If this happens on a hill, again, just ease up on the gas and steer in the direction that you want to go.
And while kids may be thinking about the snow day today, our area schools are thinking about road conditions Monday. Most schools in the CSRA say they're still monitoring the road conditions, but Emmanuel County schools have said they will be closed Monday with plans to reopen on Tuesday. Many school events over the weekend are being postponed or canceled due to the weather. As you look to stay inside, we're on your side with advice on how to stay safe during these freezing temperatures. That includes protecting your people, plants, pets, and pipes, all huge priorities. Local plumbers are giving advice on how to help keep your pipes from freezing or bursting. They say exposure to cold temperatures is a key factor in determining if your pipes are vulnerable. They're also offering advice on their end when it comes to protecting those pipes.
Saying where you just let a faucet drip, that is not true. You got to fully have your water turned on in order for it not to freeze. Like he was saying, you'd have to have both the hot and the cold on. So I just recommend for customers get their lines insulated. They have crawl space. If they're on a slab, at least do the hose bibs.
You can open your cabinets to help the warmer air circulate as well. If you can get to hardware stores, they may sell insulated covers for your pipes. And keep it warm in your home if you can. Make sure to turn off your sprinklers as well.
Well, moving now to a safety alert this morning. Frostbite and hypothermia are two major concerns right now. Now, frostbite is damage to the skin by extreme cold. Hypothermia is even more dangerous. It's when your body starts to lose heat faster than it can produce it. The easiest way to prevent these from happening is to bundle up and limit your time in the cold weather. Signs of frostbite are long-term numbness, tingling sensations, and blisters. And here's what you should do if you experience any of this. Seek warm shelter, use warm compresses or warm water on the affected area. Do not use hot water and take pain relievers. Signs of hypothermia are shivering, shallow breathing, and a weak pulse. To prevent this, drink some warm liquids, dress warmly, and take frequent breaks in warm and dry areas. Chris?
Well, the snow is getting closer. Not quite here yet. There's a look at our First Alert Radar Network. The upstate of South Carolina, North Georgia mountains, starting to see the flakes of flying. It's heading in our direction. We'll talk about when the snow comes, when it ends, and how much we'll get coming up after the break.
All right, we're back with our First Alert Weather Day here. Chris, we're taking a look at Hartsville, Jackson, and Atlanta this morning, where the flights there have already been impacted by this weather. Yeah,
and the cancellations could grow today based on what we're expecting to see on this snowfall.
Absolutely, they certainly could. They're not going to get as much snow over in the Atlanta area as we're going to get here in the CSRA, and especially over into the Midlands, the PD, the Grand Strand of South Carolina, the Piedmont of North Carolina. Those areas could get up to about a foot of snow. We're not going to get quite that much, but we're going to get our share. So let's talk about our First Alert Weather Day that is in effect for Saturday and Sunday. It's in effect today for the likelihood of up to 5 inches of snow to fall. It's in effect for tomorrow because we're going to start off with wind chill values down close to 0. And of course, with the snow comes hazardous travel. So definitely stay off the roads today if you can. The winter storm warning is in effect for snow totals 2 up to about 5 inches. Isolated areas could get a little more than that, especially if you're watching us from South Carolina, especially Aiken, Edgefield County. Those are the areas to always watch for the heavier snow. Then comes the extreme cold. We'll be about 30 or 40 hours below freezing. Waking up tomorrow with wind chill values less than 5 degrees. Maybe even isolated areas below 0. And of course, there's a look at those hazardous roads. Winter storm warning is in effect, has been for about 24 hours now. That's because the Weather Service expects 2 inches or more of snow to fall if you do live in the pink area, and that includes the entire CSRA. I don't know if we'll all get the full 2 inches, but that 2 or 3 inches is going to be possible even if you're watching down around Emmanuel County, Jenkins, Screven County. You're going to get the snow just like the rest of us. It may not just be quite as heavy as it's going to be farther up to the north. It's going to be a blowing snow too. This is a very cold scenario, so it'll be a very powdery snow, and with wind gusts around 25 miles per hour this afternoon, that's really going to blow things around. In addition to the snow falling, you'll have the snow that already fell blowing around, producing low visibility at times. as we head toward the afternoon today. So definitely a rare snowy scene expected. 32 degrees your temperature right now in Edgefield. So as you can see here, temperatures are not going to be an issue. It is plenty cold top to bottom of the atmosphere to get snow to form. Now, we don't have anything out there like that right now. The air is very, very dry. So initially, we may have what we call snurga, which is snow that falls and sublimates before it hits the ground. But that's going to change as we head through the day. And like I said, about 9, maybe 10 o'clock this morning, you should start to see the flakes fly. And then it just becomes heavier for the afternoon. We're going to have 2 ingredients here. We have a coastal low at the surface that will provide the moisture. And then we have an upper level low coming down from the north that will work with that. And that'll provide all the cold air that we need to get the snow to form. Let's take you hour by hour. Again, 8 o'clock up there around Wilkes County, Saluda County. You'll be the first to see the snow. By 10:11, it works its way into the Augusta area. And then for the afternoon, widespread snow, heavy at times. Temperatures actually falling today into the mid-20s. Everything's wrapped up by tonight. Probably around 10, 11 o'clock, certainly by midnight. But look at those temperatures. Our forecast says we head through today, low temperatures by tomorrow morning down into the mid-teens. That will feel like 0. So we'll continue the first alert weather day for tomorrow. Not much in the way of melting for tomorrow either. High temperatures only in the mid to upper 30s. Back down to about 15 degrees Monday morning. But at least by then, the wind will be gone.
All right, thanks, Chris. If you want to look at the radar for yourself, you can use this code on your screen to download the First Alert Weather app. Just scan that code with your camera phone. There you can see the daily forecast, get updates from our First Alert Weather team, and look at the radar to see what's coming your way. Again, you can just scan this code. It'll take you right to the App Store to download it.
And remember, it's never too late to help out your community before the snow starts or during the snow. The Salvation Army Center of Hope is operating at capacity right now. The shelter manager says they're serving 30 more people than usual. And this is creating an urgent need for basic supplies. If you want to help out, you can donate bath towels, gently used bedding, blankets, and some activities to keep the kids occupied.
We also have children here. So when they're in during the day, if anybody could donate as far as games, coloring books, just something fun for them to do to keep their mind off of this winter storm.
And you can drop off your donations at the center on Green Street. We have that address up on your screen now. You can also send them donations from their Amazon wish list, or you can send money on their official website. We have links to these pages on our website, WRDW.com.
There are other overnight shelters to turn to in Augusta, the community center at May Park, then the men's shelters, the Augusta Rescue Mission and Garden City Rescue Mission. On your screen now, you'll see check-in times for each shelter. Before you go to the shelters, you do need to get clearance first. You can get that from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Before 5 o'clock, you can do it at their Records Bureau. After 5 o'clock, give them a call at 706-821-1080, and a deputy will come to you. Aiken has an overnight shelter as well. That's the Salvation Army on Park Avenue there. Leaders say check-in starts at 5. Shelter clearance is needed for that as well. You can get that from the Department of Public Safety. Just go to their building on Beaufort Street or call 803-642-7620. Cold temperatures can also be dangerous for your pets if they're left outside for too long. And there are laws about this. Someone who works for the SPCA in Aiken says pets can't be outside if it's around 30 to 40 degrees. You could face the consequences if they are.
And Georgia's Department of Agriculture has this advice to share for dogs. Regularly clean their paws to prevent any ice and snow buildup. Not doing so could lead to some discomfort or injuries. Wipe the dog paws after a walk as well. Officials say you need to take off antifreeze, salt, or other de-icing chemicals so they don't get licked off. And remember, if you feel cold outside with or without a jacket on, so does your dog. Give them a dog coat and monitor their behavior when they're outside.
Well, the snow's not here just yet, but don't worry. We still think it is on the way later on this morning. There's a look at a regional view of our radar. The snow now in the upstate of South Carolina into western North Carolina and headed in our direction. We'll have more on the snow day in the CSRA coming up after the break.
check 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5.
All right, welcome back. It's 6:21 here, and your First Alert Weather Team is on your side this morning, tracking the snowfall, not just here in the Weather Center, but they got boots on the ground where we could expect to see the first few snowflakes this morning. Your First Alert meteorologist, Malik Bryant, joining us live from Wilkes County.
Yeah, Malik, we had you at the top of the show at 6 o'clock, so any chance we saw a couple flakes out there just yet?
My mind could be playing tricks on me, but it was either dust flying in the air or maybe just the smallest, tiniest little bit of a little flurry that came through right after that live hit. Since disappeared, so maybe my mind was playing tricks on me. We still got an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours or so before we start to see those flakes really begin to fly here. Now, we got the Super Bowl coming up in, like 2 weeks, a week from now. So, I mean, I've heard a lot about the Super Bowl, Schmooper Bowl. What about the Washington Wilkes Snow Bowl, baby? It happening later this afternoon. Me and Breck are going to try and square up out here, do a couple Oklahoma drills out in the snow, and we'll see who can get the best of one another out here. We'll see. Depends on how much snow we have. Going to need a little bit of cushion there. Don't want to get the CTE. Got to protect the noggin out here. But, hey, the wind chill factor, I definitely feel that as well. Just the slightest breeze out here, we're already cold. You take that slightest breeze, make it a little bit colder out here, having to do a little bit of dancey dance just to keep myself warm out here. So, hey, it's cold, but I'm willing to take the cold if we do get a little bit of snow. So, what would you say? Nick, Ashley, would y'all rather it be 90 degrees or in the 30s with some snow?
I saw Emily post this on Facebook yesterday or sometime this week. Emily Acton had posted this. I think I would rather it be 90, but unless we're going to get snow. If it's going to be 20 with snow, I'll take that. But if it's not going to be snow, it's just going to be cold, I'll take 90.
Yeah, I'll say if there was some snow out there, then okay, we can take the colder temps. But Malik, if there's no snow, friend.
Yeah, Chris, what about you?
I'm an idealist. If it could be 75 and snow, that would be perfect.
Oh, yeah, that would be something. We would have quite the weather phenomenon.
Making that happen, but so far, no luck.
We just got to break the rules of physics there, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they should call up Lincoln County, get the Red Devils and Tigers out there on the field, have a little 3-7-8 war in the snow. Little comeback of the season here.
Hey, as long as I can be all-time QB.
Hey, I think they can arrange that. All right, thanks for that, Malik. So, Chris, what are we tracking here with the latest forecast?
Well, we are still tracking some snow that is getting closer to us, and it looks like it's another maybe 3-4 hours away from your area, depending on where in the CSRA you live. So let's talk about that first alert weather day that is still in effect. We've been talking about this all week. It's in effect Saturday and Sunday. Saturday for the snow, Sunday morning especially for the extreme cold. Up to 5 inches of snow, very possible, if not likely, around the CSRA today. Then the extreme cold. Wind chills tomorrow morning, very close to zero. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if a few areas were below zero for feels-like temperatures early on your Sunday morning. Hazardous travel, of course, with all the snow out there. Let's talk about how much snow we're going to get. This is our computer model, our in-house computer model here. And we're going to have these snow bands that develop. Your darker blue there, that's where you could get 3 inches of snow, even down to the south, Jefferson County, Emmanuel County, Jenkins, Screven County. In fact, it won't set up with exact numbers like this. Kind of use this as a rule of thumb. The farther north you live and the farther east you live, the heavier the snow is going to be. The very dark blue over there in central South Carolina, that's where 6, maybe 9 inches of snow are going to be falling. Meanwhile, as you go to the west, the snow amounts do decrease. So odds are you'll get less snow today in Sparta than you're going to get get over into Edgefield, but there are going to be heavier bands of snow that develop. So again, 1 to 3 inches of snow, I think, are a safe bet. Up to 5 inches of snow, really anywhere in the CSRA, is going to be entirely possible. So your bird watching forecast is a snowy one. It'll be easy to see the birds in the white snow out there today. Noon temperatures around 32. And if you are a bird watcher, definitely make sure your bird feeder is full. They have to dig around in the snow and find food. Let's make sure we make it easy for them. Meanwhile, you can track the weather in our First Alert weather app. If you don't have it already, just search WRDW First Alert. We'll be doing live updates throughout the day until this all wraps up. Frequent video updates, and you can submit your photos and videos of the snow in your area. First Alert Radar Network does not show any snow just yet, but we are seeing it moving into the upstate of South Carolina, even a few flurries in the Columbia area, North Georgia mountains. And again, a couple more hours, this will start to find its way into the CSRA. But if you are traveling today, definitely in South Carolina, stay off the roads. Temperatures right now with flurries flying there in Greenville around 27. We're going to wrap it up for this half hour. There's your 7-day forecast. Much warmer by midweek.
Live from Augusta with a First Alert weather update.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for watching News 1226 this morning. Now streaming live on WRDW+. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Jones. We are continuing our coverage with a First Alert weather day for snow coming to most of the CSRA this morning. We've got team coverage getting you ready bright and early. Your First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant is in Wilkes County this morning right now, waiting for the first few flakes to fall there.
We're going to get to him in just a bit, but first let's send things over to First Alert meteorologist Chris Still in the Weather Center as we are just hours away from snowfall. Chris?
We absolutely are. Snow lovers, this is your day. We've been talking about it all week. And really for the third weekend in a row, we're talking about the possibility of winter precipitation. I think this will end up being the biggest of the three events. So let's keep that in mind as we take a look at our First Alert weather day that is in effect Saturday and Sunday. Saturday for snow, Sunday for extreme cold weather. In fact, an extreme cold warning is in effect for wind chill values tomorrow morning down near zero. And of course, with 5 inches of snow on the ground, hazardous travel is expected. Winter storm warning is in effect. It does include the entire CSRA. The criteria for that is 2 inches of snow or more. So even if you don't get the 2 inches of snow down around Wrightsville or Swainsboro, 1 to 2 inches is going to be certainly a good possibility. So that's why you're included in that winter weather warning. But up to the north and especially Edgefield, Aiken, Saluda County, those areas, especially over toward Columbia, 5, 6, maybe more inches of snow are in your forecast. Here's a look at our forecast map of how we think it will break down. I do think the 1 to 2 inches could make it farther south into Emmanuel County. It'll be a close call down your way with the heavier amounts up to the north and off to the east. In the Augusta area, I would say 1 to 3 inches of snow is a safe bet, but 5 inches of snow in some areas is not going to surprise me at all. Here's a look at our snow chances and how it times out. Right now, nothing out there, but by 10, 11 o'clock, should start to see at least a few flurries flying, and then as the atmosphere moistens up a little bit, we'll become all widespread snow as we head through the afternoon, then kind of taper off as we head toward the evening hours with everything out of here by about 10, maybe 11 o'clock tonight. First Alert Radar Network is dry across the CSRA, although we are starting to try to see a few flurries in the extreme northern tip of the area. The snow showers right now, the closest is in the Greenville area down into Clemson and Anderson in South Carolina. Temperatures are plenty cold enough, so that won't be an issue. We're already 32 degrees in McCormick down toward Edgefield, and as the snow starts to fall, we'll actually fall into the mid-20s with wind chills in the low to mid-teens throughout the afternoon and the snow falling. Here it is on our computer model by noon today. I think the northern half of the CSRA is seeing snow, possibly heavy. Still nothing down around Millen and Sylvania, but as we head toward late afternoon, the snow has moved even into the southern CSRA. This model even showing the possibility of a heavier band all the way down to the south. So again, some isolated heavier totals are going to be possible. You could get an inch or two in your backyard, but the next town over could get 5 inches. It's going to be one of those where the totals are kind of up and down, but 1 to 5 inches of snow scattered around the CSRA will definitely be a scene to look at. This dog walk forecast brought to you by Ella the Husky. I bet she's pretty happy about the snow, maybe not so happy about the cold weather, 30 degrees by 1 o'clock. After today, we're talking about dangerous cold wind chills. This will be your wake-up wind chill tomorrow morning around sunrise, down around 3 degrees in Aiken, down into Waynesboro. We'll tell you if it warms up any for the week ahead in your full forecast in just a bit.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. We'll be on your side during the winter weather with team coverage today. If you grab your phone right now and scan this code with your camera, you can download our News 12 app. Your First Alert weather team will be live throughout the day with First Alert updates. And the rest of our News 12 crew will be spread all throughout our viewing area with updates from the ground.
Well, both Georgia and South Carolina governors have declared a state of emergency for this weekend.
This allows state agencies to transport resources and activates the National Guard. In South Carolina, state agencies can start doing that to wherever it's needed. It'll be easier for commercial vehicles to drive since some rules and regulations are now suspended to get those efforts moving faster.
And Georgia's state of emergency allows GMA to activate the State Operations Center and the National Guard if needed. The Department of Transportation can also use more resources to make sure our roads are safe. The declarations put price gouging laws into effect in both Georgia and South Carolina, which is important even if we see more snow than ice here.
Areas of northern Georgia and South Carolina could see freezing rain, which could cause more damage and power outages.
Well, we are on your side this morning watching for the first snowflakes to fall on the CSRA. Your first alert meteorologist, Malik Bryant, joining us live from Wilkes County this morning.
So, Malik, it's been about a half hour now. We're still waiting on those first signs of snow.
Yeah, still waiting on those first flakes to fall here in Wilkes County in downtown Washington. But I tell you what, we are in the lower 30s, just hanging around just above that freezing mark here in Washington. But the feels like tip is already in the mid 20s. So it's already cold no matter where you are or how it feels here in the CSRA with that wind chill value there. But Washington is a beautiful place. Can't wait for it to snow. One thing we have seen, the Wilkes County Sheriff has been riding up and down. I don't know, maybe he thinks we're sus out here or crazy for being out here this early, but they are taking this very seriously, and they're going to patrol when they do see the snow and making sure everybody does stay safe and monitoring those road conditions. Now, taking a look at some of those road temps across the area there, still seeing those road temps in the mid 30s, but they're not far behind those air temps. So once we do get down to freezing, it won't take long for those road temps to also follow behind it as well. So that's something that we're going to be watching here over the next couple of hours as we do begin to see those first flakes begin to fall as we head towards sunrise.
Yeah, Sheriff's probably driving around going, what the heck are these guys doing out here in this cold weather, waiting for all this snow to come down? They're trying to figure out if you guys are crazy or what's going on. But thankfully, that's not the case. You're just hanging out there enjoying the weather.
Exactly. It's not cold if you're having fun.
Well, yeah, all right. I like that mantra. Hey, you know what? You're the one out there, whatever you guys say to yourself to beat that cold. We appreciate you being on the ground for us and waiting for those first snowflakes. Thanks, Malik. Well, sticking in Georgia, the Department of Transportation is ready to continue treating the roads at the first signs of snow. Crews were out yesterday brining the roads as the cold weather stuck around, but there's only so much they can do as the snow falls and temperatures remain below freezing like the First Alert Weather Team expects. Making a phrase you have from us a lot in the last 3 weeks, stay true. Please stay off the roads if you can.
We see crashes on a sunny day. Now, we're going to throw in some snow, some icy conditions, like it's going to be slippery, and people aren't used to driving in that kind of stuff around here. So, I mean, even if you think you're awesome, you can drive in this stuff, just think about all the people around you who are very inexperienced too.
Some good advice there, and should you have to drive today or tomorrow, slow down, keep your distance from cars in front of you, and stay alert. If your tires do skid, look and steer in the direction that you want to go. Ease up on the gas as well.
Well, moving now to South Carolina, we have a live look this morning from our sister station, WHNS in Greenville, South Carolina, where snow is falling right now here. It's very fast, but you can see a flake or two on the camera there. SCDOT saying it's prepared for its third week of winter weather, while noting cautious winter weather coverage is not something we are used to in the South.
We're in South Carolina, folks come here for the weather, not necessarily for snow and ice. But so, it's not something we deal with normally. We do have the infrastructure to deal with it, but we're not Buffalo, New York in terms of what we have to deal. So we'll be ready to deal with it. Our folks are experienced and prepared.
And South Carolina Department of Public Health has opened its triage line for anyone to call and to determine their eligibility for medical equipment power shelters. You can call the triage line 24 hours a day starting at 8 this morning. Today, the number along with the care line number is on your screen now. A medical equipment power shelter is an emergency shelter with limited support for people who need backup power for medical reasons, like those who live at home needing backup power for medical devices, refrigeration, or medicine, or specialized beds. The Department of Public Health does not provide health care services at the shelter, though.
While kids may be thinking about the snow day today, our area schools are thinking about road conditions for Monday.
That's right. Most schools in the CSRA say they're still monitoring the road conditions, but Emmanuel County schools have said they will be closed on Monday with plans to reopen on Tuesday. Many school events over the weekend are being postponed as well or canceled due to this weather.
Some families may be bracing for the cold temperatures without heat. That's because Georgia Power resumed utility disconnections after last weekend's ice, but help is available. Local nonprofits like the Salvation Army and Community Ministry of North Augusta are stepping in.
But what we also do is we will encourage individuals that if you're struggling to make ends meet when it comes to utility assistance, then what we'll say is allow us to help with food and then money that you would have spent on food you can now put towards your energy bills. And so it's a little bit of a give and take.
He adds it is a first-come, first-served basis at the Salvation Army. The community ministry will help you find a middle ground with Dominion Energy and help pay part of your utility bill. They say usually their limit is $300, but they are working to get that up to $500. The Augusta Dream Center is also working to help keep people warm this weekend. They're asking the community for space heater donations to help those in need. Officials say the need has gone up in recent months, and they've already gotten calls from people willing to donate.
As the weather started changing, we started getting calls. Many of our families have to decide, am I going to get food? Am I going to get my medicine? Or am I going to pay my utility bills? And so people that have like gas heat, especially, they'll go without getting their gas turned on. And so we started collecting the heaters so that we can help bring some warmth into those homes.
They're also giving out gloves and hats. If you'd like to help, we have links on our website, WRDW.com, on how you can reach out to donate or find the center's Amazon wish list. And remember, if you are using a space heater, always place it on a flat surface away from anything flammable. Officials say plug them directly into the wall, not a power strip or extension cord. Don't block any exits or doorways either. Make sure you read the instructions before using it and never go to sleep while that heater is on.
Well, experts say another hazard with this weather is carbon monoxide poisoning if the device burns fuels to keep you warm. That's a colorless and odorless gas that gives you a headache, nausea, and dizziness, in some cases death if you've inhaled the gas for too long. Should you feel these symptoms, just go outside, and if they don't clear up, call 911.
And the snow's getting closer. Here's our First Alert Radar network showing snow across western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, even the upstate of South Carolina. We still think a big snow day is headed our way in the CSRA. We'll have the details and let you know if it warms up any for the week ahead in your 7-day forecast when we come back.
Welcome back here. We are set to do better than Atlanta when it comes to snow, right, Chris?
Yeah, we're going to do better than Atlanta, at least if you're a fan of snow, that is. If you're not, then we'll be worse than Atlanta. So snow is kind of one of those controversial topics, but snow lovers, this is your day. This could be the biggest snow we've had, or will be the biggest snow we've had since 2014. You remember before the ice storm in 2014, about this time in January, we had I think it was about 3 inches of snow that fell in 2014. Before that, you have to go back to 2010. Now, that snowstorm produced 8 inches of snow here in Augusta. I don't think we'll get 8 inches of snow, but up to 5 inches is a possibility scattered around the CSRA, and that will cause hazardous travel. Then tomorrow morning, extremely cold weather with wind chill values near zero. So here's what we're talking about for our first alert in effect. Isolated areas, 5 inches, maybe even a couple of places getting more in South Carolina. Extreme cold tomorrow morning. Wake up wind chill values less than 5, a below zero reading would not surprise me. And we're going to have 30, maybe 40 hours of temperatures below freezing. And of course, those roads with temperatures below freezing and a lot of snow will be hazardous. First alert, winter storm warning is in effect for the pink counties. It does include the entire CSRA. And the criteria for that is 2 inches or more of snow. So if you are watching this morning, there's a chance you'll get 2 inches or more. The greatest chance of that will be in South Carolina and up to the north, where major impacts are expected in the orange shading, moderate impacts, and that means you definitely need to stay off the roads. The good news is this is all snow, and it'll be a powdery snow at that, so the risk of power outages should be very, very low. Temperatures are very low this morning, too. 32 right now in Evans, 38 in Millen, but up to the north, you're already below freezing, so definitely no trouble getting snow to form. Radar network is still snow-free around the CSRA, but if we zoom out just a little bit, a few flurries in the northeast Georgia mountains, a little heavier snow beginning to fall in Charlotte and back into Greenville, and this is all going to be moving to the southeast. Low pressure off the coast at the surface will push the moisture into the area. Meanwhile, if we go to our water vapor imagery, you can see this big swirl here. That's an upper level low. That'll provide the cold weather. And once that gets on top of us this afternoon, the cold, even colder air aloft will cause the snow to pick up. It's also going to cause it to get pretty windy and bring those wind chill values down close to zero by tomorrow morning. Let's time it all out real quick on our computer model. By 10 and 11 o'clock, the snow should be moving into the Augusta area-wide by 3 and 4. By 6 o'clock, scattered snow showers, pockets of heavy snow still possible, but by midnight, the snow is out of the area. As far as how much we're going to get, according to our in-house model, 1 to 3 inches is going to be commonplace, but where those heavier snow bands do form, up to 5 inches will be possible. Notice even down to the south, there is that possibility you could get a heavier snow band as well. As far as those wind chills are concerned, by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, wind chill values in the teens. Extreme cold warning in effect for tonight with those single-digit wind chill values overnight. This is midnight, feeling like 5 to 10 tonight. By about this time tomorrow morning, it'll feel like a lousy 1 degree there in Saluda. So your forecast today, windy with snow, up to 5 inches possible. High temperatures have already occurred, so don't pay too much attention to that. We'll be in the 20s for the afternoon, down to 15 tonight, but that will feel like 0 to 5, around 14 in Johnston for the actual temperature. First alert weather day again tomorrow because of the dangerous wind chills, but after that, the weather does improve. Back to 15 on Monday morning, but at least by that point, the wind will be gone.
All right, thanks, Chris. Now's a good time to download our First Alert weather app. If you get out your phone right now and scan that code right there on your screen, it'll take you to our app store, or your app store rather, where you can download the app for free. That gives you real-time alerts about the weather around you, and you can customize your notifications so you just get weather alerts that matter for you. We're on your side with a safety alert here this morning. It is important to make sure your kids are wearing the right clothes outside this weekend and anytime there are brutally cold temperatures. Your kids should be dressed in layers with wind and waterproof clothes, and any exposed skin should be covered. We're talking hats, scarves, and gloves. You can even layer socks as well.
Start their day off right. They'll be warm. They won't be worried about how cold they are. You know, that when they get to school, they can also always take some of those layers off so that they'll be comfortable in the classroom.
And remember, if your kid rides in a car seat, make sure to remove any bulky coats so they can be securely strapped in.
And remember, there are overnight shelters to turn to in Augusta, the community center at May Park, and the Augusta Rescue Mission, as well as the Garden City Rescue Mission, which only serve men. Now on your screen are the check-in times for each shelter.
Before you go to the shelter, you do need to get clearance. You can get that through the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Before 5 o'clock, just go to the Records Bureau in person. After 5, call 706-821-1080 and a deputy will come to you. Chris?
Well, if you are waking up early this morning wondering where the snow is, well, we still think it is on the way. Here's a look at our radar network. Flurries flying in northeast Georgia, moving into the upstate. This is all headed our way later on this morning. We'll have more on that forecast after the break.
Welcome back here. We don't see a lot of snow here in the CSRA.
So we are on your side this morning, making the most out of our snowy forecast, what we do have so far. Your First Alert meteorologist, Malik Bryant, joining us live out of Wilkes County this morning.
And Malik, you guys got there last night. I'm not going to lie, when I saw the fountain moving behind you, when I, at a first quick glance, I thought those were a couple snowflakes coming down before I realized it was just water.
It was a little trick of the mind there, but in just a few short hours, we should see snowflakes here in Washington, Georgia. So me and Breck have had an argument here. You know, we've been talking about we're going to see significant snowfall here in the CSRA. Now, people who may have moved here from the north are like, okay, 2 inches, 5 inches, like, that's nothing, right? To me, I'm like, oh, 2 inches? Like, that's like a field day for me. That's like going to a day at the fair or something, or Six Flags, right? The other people, it's like, it's not enough. So how much snow is a good amount of snow? Or how much snow do you think is enjoyable or for a significant snow event?
I want to say 5 inches.
That's a good,
yeah.
I think that's plenty of snow.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're a Jersey boy, so you should.
Yeah,
I mean, we would get a foot of snow or more some years. But yeah, I think 5 inches, that's a good snowfall for sure. I think really anything over like 2 at this point in the South, like it's
enough to play in.
Yeah, and that's more than we're used to seeing in a whole year, let alone in one snowfall. So I think 2 to 3 inches, you're talking about a great snowfall.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. At least 2 inches there, and you're good because it covers everything. Everyone could go out there, get their nice, good-looking Instagram photos and put a little filter in the background there so that they can post it on Facebook and Instagram and get all the likes and take all the memories that they can of the snowfall here in the CSRA. We've gotten down to 33. Now, the last time I checked in Washington, we were 1 degree above freezing here, getting ever so close to the freezing mark and ever so close to that moisture coming in and bringing us the first few flakes in the CSRA.
All right, looking forward to it. We'll check back in with you here at the top of the hour. Thanks for that, Malik. Chris, you are the man of the hour right now. What are we looking at here in terms of snow?
Well, I think we'll be looking at that fountain behind Malik there, probably frozen by about this time tomorrow morning. So definitely some dangerous cold and some snow. Let's talk a little more about the first alert that is in effect and has been in effect for a few days now. Up to 5 inches of snow later today. Wind chill values close to 0 by tomorrow morning. Here's a look at what our computer model, our in-house model, has to say about snow totals. Before you pay too much attention to the number over your hometown, notice up to the north and off to the east. Notice kind of the trend here with the model is for increasing totals. By the time you get over into the Columbia area, 6 to maybe 9 inches of snow. Even farther east in the PD of South Carolina up into the Piedmont of North Carolina, there could be areas that get close to a foot of snow from this storm system. And that increases as you go to the west. And by the time you get to the Atlanta area, they only get really just a trace to maybe a dusting of snow. But 1 to 3 inches, I think, is a safe bet around the area. As you get off to the east and up to the north, there's a greater chance that 5-inch total could be in your area. But again, these heavy bands are going to develop, and this model actually depicts a heavier band all the way over to the west and south where 3 inches of snow could form in some of those areas. So again, in reality, it's not going to be linear like this where it increases from north to south. You'll have these pockets where some spots, even down to the south, may get 3 or 4 inches of snow. Bird watching forecast will be a snowy one today, so if you haven't already, be sure you fill up the bird feeder and make sure those birdies have plenty to eat. You can track the snow on our First Alert weather app. If you don't have it already, download it by searching WRDW First Alert. You'll get all of our updates we'll be doing throughout the day today, and of course you can submit those snowy photos. Where is the snow right now? Well, most of it is in the upstate of South Carolina up into western North Carolina. 30 degrees in Atlanta today. You'll be on the western edge of the snow if you are traveling over that way. If you're traveling east, the snow just gets heavier and heavier. And yeah, we're all going to be in the cold tomorrow. Wake up wind chills 0 to 5. I hear the music. That means we're out of time. So we'll close out with a 7-day forecast there. 15 tomorrow morning, feeling like 0 to 5, but the week ahead is just a little bit warmer.
Live from Augusta with a First Alert weather update.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for watching News 12 this morning. Now streaming live on WRDW+. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Jones. We begin with a First Alert weather day for snow coming to most parts of the CSRA this morning. We have team coverage getting you ready bright and early. Your First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant is in Wilkes County this morning right now waiting for the first few flakes of snow to fall.
Yeah, we're going to get to him in just a little bit, but first let's send things over to First Alert meteorologist Chris Still tracking the forecast.
That's right. First Alert weather day is in effect. It has been for a few days, so the forecast still looking on track. Really no major changes to the forecast this morning. If anything, the snow may be a couple of hours later than expected getting here, but better late than never, because I do think by the afternoon we're going to have plenty of it to go around. So let's take a look at it graphically on our First Alert weather day graphic here. Saturday and Sunday, First Alert weather day in effect. Saturday for the snow, Sunday for the extreme cold. And of course, travel will be hazardous the entire time with the heavy snow falling today. Maybe a little remelting with people driving around. And then with temperatures tomorrow morning down around 15, feeling like close to 0, there will be icy spots on the road tomorrow morning. Winter storm warning is in effect. They issue those when 2 inches or more of snow is expected, and that is possible around the entire CSRA. So definitely a lot of snow in the forecast for our part of the country. If we do get the amounts of snow on the screen here, that will be the most snow that we've had since at least 2014 and possibly going all the way back to 2010 when 8 inches of snow fell in Augusta. I don't think we'll get 8 inches of snow, but some areas in South Carolina are going to come mighty close to it with bands of heavy snow developing. As far as the timing is concerned, I think by 11 a.m. into the midday hour, snow becomes likely, just getting heavier and heavier as we head toward mid-afternoon, then kind of gradually easing off through your Saturday evening. First Alert Radar Network continues to be snow-free around the CSRA, but the snow is beginning to increase in the Charlotte area back into the upstate of South Carolina. Upper level low over Tennessee will continue plunging to the southeast. As that pool of very cold air aloft comes in, it's going to enhance the snow and make it a lot easier for it to get down to the ground. Temperatures are already below freezing, so cold weather not an issue. Right now, 31 degrees in Aiken. Here it is on our in-house model hour by hour. 8 o'clock is when we could start to see a little bit of flurry activity up there in Wilkes County. By noon today, heavy snow very likely across Lincoln, McCormick, Edgefield, Saluda County. Down to the south, it'll probably be mid-afternoon before you start to see a little snow in Millen, Sylvania, and over toward Allendale. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we are going to have bands of what could be some heavy snow, and that does include even down to the south. We could have some heavier bands that do develop, and where those bands set up will determine who gets 5 inches of snow and who gets an inch or 2. Some areas may not get a whole lot. Others could get the really heavier amounts as those bands kind of set up. Temperatures falling. We'll fall from the 30s now into the mid-20s by mid-afternoon. By midnight tonight, the snow is gone, and that's when the extreme cold really comes in overnight tonight. So your Dog Walk forecast brought to you by Ella the Husky. I'm sure Ella is pretty happy about the cold and the snow. 31 degrees with the flakes beginning to fly around 11. Picking up only 31 degrees by 2 p.m. Fast forward to tomorrow, we'll talk about some cold wind chill values. By this time tomorrow morning, feeling like about 1 degree in Saluda, maybe 5 degrees on the warmer side there in Louisville. So the extreme cold warning is into effect. But there is some warmer weather on the way as we head into the week ahead. We'll talk a little bit about that in your full forecast in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll be on your side during the winter weather with team coverage today. So if you scan this code on your screen with your phone, you can download the News 1226 app. Your First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale is going to be live throughout the day with those First Alert updates. The rest of our News 12 crew will be throughout the area with updates from the ground.
Well, both Georgia and South Carolina governors have declared a state of emergency for this weekend.
This allows state agencies to transport resources and activates the National Guard. So they can move that to wherever needed in South Carolina. It'll be easier for commercial vehicles to drive since some rules and regulations are suspended to get efforts moving faster.
And Georgia's state of emergency allows GEMA to activate the State Operations Center and the National Guard if needed. The Department of Transportation can also use more resources to make sure our roads are safe. And both declarations are important because the snow is expected to be here soon in some counties. Your First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant joining us live now from Wilkes County.
All right, Malik, our quarterly check-in here. So how are we looking in terms of the snowfall?
How are we looking? How are we feeling? I had to put the hood back on. The wind on the back of my neck is taking a chop at me here. But hey, we're not cold. We're having fun. If I had $1 for every time I saw either a Wilkes County Sheriff's truck or a Tolliver County Sheriff's truck, I think it's the same one, just going back and forth, checking me out, I mean, I could be a millionaire by now. So I don't know. I mean, they're just checking out the roads, but they could just be checking us out again to make sure we're not up to no good here. But we are anxiously awaiting ever so slightly. Each minute, we're getting closer to the first few flakes flying in the CSRA. I said earlier, you could call it the northern front of the CSRA, awaiting anxiously the first few flakes of snowfalls to fly here. Now, every now and then I look around and I think I see something, but it's really nothing. It's just my mind playing games with me. Whether that's the cold or whether that's just the excitement getting to me is up for debate there. But we're excited. Got in front of the fountain here. I know Chris said it's probably going to be frozen by the time that we get, especially into Sunday there with how cold it is. But that's also a huge story here. If you do go out and play in the snow, make sure you're wearing your gloves. Make sure you got gloves. I'm going to end up wearing 2 of these. I've got another pair that I'm going to put over these, probably going into the afternoon as well. But you got plenty of layers on. Not just a jacket or a hoodie. You're going to need it because the wind's going to be whipping. We're going to see those wind chills down into the teens here as well. Make sure you got layers on your legs as well. Don't forget about those, and your socks. Nobody wants cold toes out there as well. So a scarf, a hood, a beanie. Beanies are so important. Beanie makes the difference in the game. Beanie really makes a difference in the game out here. So if you want to go play in the snow and enjoy it, make sure you are well layered up.
All right, Malik. So here's the $1 million question. What's your first order of business once you see those first few snowflakes hit the ground, friend?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple, I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'm going to send it right back to y'all. You know what I'm doing? I'm going to send it to the haters, and I'm going to go, here you go. There it is. There it is.
For all the people that doubted us.
Yeah, get some vindication after last week. We didn't quite get as much as we were hoping for. So this week we're going to get that snowfall. And Malik, have you actually ever seen snow? I know you're a Georgia guy born and raised. Have you seen snow before?
Yes. I remember the first time I ever saw snow was 2010. I saw 2 inches down in Perry, Georgia. Second time I saw snow was like 2014 was ice. 2014 was ice. We didn't have as much ice as here in the CSRA, but we still got a good bit of ice down there. And then 2018, we got about 1.5 inches of ice down there. I mean, not ice, but snow. And then it was all gone like 2 hours later. So that was like upsetting. I had to call my friends and be like, wake up. It's going to be gone by the afternoon. And some of them woke up late and never saw it in the first place. But I mean, going from, just seeing maybe 2 inches of snow every, 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The last couple of weeks here have really been a treat here in the CSRA.
Yeah, little kids and Malik, the most excited people in the CSRA when the snow comes down. We'll check back in with you in a little bit. Hopefully going to see some snow here pretty soon. Thanks, Malik. Moving closer to home, you can expect to see GDOT crews out in a few hours working to keep the roads safe. We were out getting a first-hand look at how the brine is created and hearing the Department of Transportation's plan for salting interstates and highly traveled roads. Ready to go at the first hint of snow today.
As soon as it does and it's accumulating, they're going to start hitting I-20. We're going to have plow teams staged along I-20 in Augusta and Thompson. It's going to be snowing all day, it looks like, so it could take multiple passes for them to, get it clear. So just because they come by, that doesn't mean the road is clear and safe.
Remember to give crews plenty of space today if you are out on the roads. They will not be treating the left lanes of the interstates, so if you do have to travel those lanes, they could be a little bit slicker than the ramps and the right lanes. The brine will become less effective as the temperatures drop. Just keep that in mind.
Well, moving to South Carolina now with a live look from our sister station, WHNS, over downtown Greenville this morning. It's one area that saw some of the heavier impacts from last week's winter storm there. Well, right now it is snowing. You can see some of the snowflakes across the camera. Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Saw 2 so far, yeah.
But SCDOT has some advice for anyone that may have to travel in this winter weather for today.
Travel in snow and ice can be dangerous. It can be hazardous. Well, we encourage, once the snow starts to fall, we encourage people to stay home and to avoid travel at all costs. But if they have to travel, travel with some common sense and caution.
And that advice echoes what our First Alert weather team has been telling you all week here. But if you do have to drive, make sure to give yourself plenty of stopping distance, since it takes longer to stop in snow than in ice. And should you have to drive today or tomorrow, slow down, keep your distance from cars in front of you, and stay alert. If your tires begin to skid, look and steer in the direction that you want to go. That may be the right side of the road for safety. Now, if this happens on a hill, same advice, just ease up off the gas and steer in the direction that you want to go. Well, while kids may be thinking about the snow day today, our area schools are thinking about road conditions on Monday. Most schools in the CSRA say they're still monitoring the road conditions, but Emmanuel County schools have said that they will be closed on Monday with plans to reopen on Tuesday.
While many school events over the weekend are being postponed or canceled because of that weather. And as you look to stay inside, we are on your side with advice on how to stay safe during these freezing temperatures. That includes protecting your people, plants, pets, and pipes. The 4 Ps we tell you about, all huge priorities. Local plumbers are giving advice on how to help keep your pipes from freezing or bursting. They say exposure to cold temperatures is a key factor in determining if your pipes are vulnerable. They're also offering advice on their end when it comes to protecting those pipes.
Saying where you just let a faucet drip, that is not true. You got to fully have your water turned on in order for it not to freeze. Like he was saying, you'd have to have both the hot and the cold on. So I just recommend for customers get their lines insulated. They have crawl space. If they're on a slab, at least do the hose bibs.
You can open cabinets too to help the warmer air circulate. If you can get to hardware stores, they may sell insulated covers for your pipes, and keep it warm in your home if you can. Make sure to turn off your sprinklers as well. We're on your side with a safety alert here this morning. Frostbite and hypothermia are 2 major concerns right now. Frostbite is damage to the skin by extreme cold.
Hypothermia is even more dangerous. It's when your body starts to lose heat faster than it can produce it. The easiest way to prevent these from happening is to bundle up and limit your time out in the cold weather. Signs of frostbite are long-term numbness, tingling sensations, and blisters. Here's what you should do if you experience any of this. Seek warm shelter, use warm compresses or warm water on the affected area. Please do not use hot water, and take pain relievers. Now, signs of hypothermia are shivering, shallow breathing, and a weak pulse. To prevent this from happening, drink warm liquids, dress warmly, and take frequent breaks in warm, dry areas. Chris.
First Alert Radar Network shows snow showers across western North Carolina, northeast, northwest South Carolina as well. That'll move into our area later this morning. We'll talk more about the snow day headed our way in your full forecast coming up.
All right, we are back with a First Alert Weather Day. Chris, we're taking a look at Hartsfield Jackson in Atlanta, where the flights are already being impacted by the weather there.
Yeah, and the cancellations could grow today based on the possibility of snow, though a little bit lighter there than here.
Yeah, lighter snow there, but it's kind of a ripple effect when it comes to these snowstorms because they're going to have a lot of snow in Charlotte, and that is a major hub as well here in the southeast. Those connecting flights going into Atlanta and going out toward Charlotte, things like that, it is going to cause kind of a ripple effect with the airport delays. Here in the CSRA, we're talking about some pretty hefty snow. If we do get what we're forecasting, it'll be the heaviest snow since back in 2010 when we got 8 inches of snow. Don't think we'll get 8 inches of snow, but up to 5 is going to be a possibility, and hazardous travel very likely as well. This is in effect Saturday and Sunday, but for tomorrow it'll be more for the extreme cold than it will be for the snow. Of course, there will be ice on the roads tomorrow morning as well, so travel remaining hazardous on both days. Winter storm warning is in effect. It does include the entire CSRA where you are shaded in pink. They issue a winter storm warning when 2 inches of snow or more is possible in your area. Here's a look at what our in-house computer model thinks about the snow totals. Again, don't pay too much attention to the exact number over your community, although I do think farther north and east of the Augusta area, that is where you have a better chance of getting 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow over towards Saluda, especially over toward Columbia. As a rule of thumb, snow amounts should decrease as you go west and to the south, but there will be heavier bands that develop. So while the typical amounts may be 1 or 2 inches down around Sandersville, Wrightsville, Swainsboro, Millen, and Sylvania, if one of those bands happens to find your area, you could easily get 2 or 3 inches of snow, and that's why you're also included in that winter storm warning. But farther to the north, I think 1 to 3 inches is going to be commonplace, and where those bands do set up, 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow will be a possibility. Current temperatures are plenty cold enough to get snow to form. 31 right now in McCormick, 32 all the way down into Waynesboro, and these temperatures will be falling into the mid-20s as we head toward the afternoon today. It's going to be a breezy snow as well and a powdery snow. So what we're going to be talking about is blowing snow, decreasing visibility. That's also going to decrease the likelihood of power outages too. It'll make it harder for the snow to linger up there in the trees. The wind will make it feel brutally cold. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll feel like the teens with the heavy snow at times this afternoon and this evening. By 7 o'clock tonight, wind chill values down around 5 to 10 as we head toward midnight, single digits, and the worst of it about this time tomorrow morning with wind chill values very, very close to 0. So the extreme cold warning is there in effect. First Alert Radar Network is dry around the CSRA so far, but the snow is getting closer. We have a surface low formed off the coast. In addition, we're going to have an upper level low with a pool of cold air move over top of that and really enhance those snow bands this afternoon. Here it is as we go hour by hour. By about 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock is going to be when the flurries start in the Augusta area. Then it picks up in the afternoon. It'll be mid-afternoon before you start to see it down around Waynesboro, Millen, and Sylvania. And then as we head toward midnight tonight, that's about when all of the snow should be well to our east and we start to focus on those cold temperatures. So your forecast today, the numbers on the screen have already happened. We'll fall into the 20s for the afternoon, up to 5 inches of snow, winds north at 10 to 15, could gust around 25 miles per hour today and tonight, and with temperatures around 15 tomorrow morning in Evans. It will feel like 0 to 5. First Alert Weather Day again tomorrow for the ice on the roads and the dangerous wind chills early in the morning. High tomorrow only 37. We're back down to 15 on Monday morning, but that'll be without the wind, so a little good news there. Much warmer midweek. Our next chance of liquid precipitation should be on Wednesday, but highs back into the 50s.
All right, thanks, Chris. And if you want to look at the radar for yourself, use the code on your screen right there to download our First Alert Weather app. You can see the daily forecasts, get updates from the weather team, and look at the radar to see what's coming your way. You can just scan this with your phone camera, and it'll take you right to the App Store to download it.
And it's not too late to help out our community before the snow starts or during the snow. The Salvation Army Center of Hope is operating at capacity right now. The shelter manager says they're serving 30 more people than usual, and this is creating an urgent need for basic supplies. If you want to help out, you can donate bath towels, gently used bedding, blankets, and some activities to keep the kids occupied.
We also have children here, so when they're in during the day, if anybody could donate as far as games, coloring books, just something fun for them to do to keep their mind off of this winter storm.
Drop off your donations at the center on Green Street. The full address that is up on your screen now. You can also send them donations from their Amazon wish list, or you can send money on their official website. We have the links to those pages on our website, WRDW.com.
There are other overnight shelters to turn to in Augusta, the community center at May Park, and then the men's only shelters, the Augusta Rescue Mission and the Garden City Rescue Mission. You can see the check-in times for each shelter there. And you do have to get clearance before going to those shelters through the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. You can go to their Records Bureau in person before 5 o'clock. If it's after 5, just give them a call at 706-821-1080 and a deputy will come to you. Aiken has an overnight shelter as well. It's the Salvation Army on Park Avenue. Leaders say check-in starts at 5 o'clock. The shelter clearance is needed for that one as well. You can get that by going to the Department of Public Safety on Beaufort Street or by giving them a call at 803-642-7620.
No snow just yet. Here's a regional view of our First Alert radar network, but there will be plenty of snow. If you do have weekend travel plans, we'll have a look at the weekend travel forecast and the latest on the snow headed to the CSRA coming up after the break.
Well, it's 7:23 now. Your First Alert weather team is on your side tracking the snowfall, not just here in the weather center this morning, but with boots on the ground where we expect to see the first few snowflakes today. Your First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant joining us from Wilkes County this morning.
Malik, we just keep checking in with you. We know it's coming. Any signs of snow just yet?
Hey, no signs of snow just yet, but you can kind of smell it. You know, that smell before, before a big event, like, you know how you can smell rain? You just kind of feel it in the air that today's snow's going to happen. We just dropped to freezing here in Washington, 32 degrees, at least last time I checked. We've hit that critical threshold here now, and sheriff's cars, sheriff's trucks keep driving by up and down. I know they're out there doing their job. Everyone's waking up this morning. They're probably like, man, I thought I was going to wake up to snow. Well, that's not how this works, okay? Sometimes you run late to work, so let's give snow a break. Snow can run late to work too, all right? Snow can run a little bit late. Well, all that matters is that it's still going to be here. It's still going to be here. About an hour or so, maybe we could see the first flakes fly here in Washington. I know somebody already said that they saw a couple of flakes down there in Aiken, had some residual moisture down there, allowing a couple flakes down there. So Aiken, maybe a few of you already saw some flakes down there in Aiken. Some of you got lucky last week and saw snow instead of any ice down there. So maybe it's just Aiken is just where God's chosen children are. But we'll see here as we head through the rest of the day.
I think that's the people of Aiken are rejoicing right now, being heard that they are God's chosen children this morning, courtesy of First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant. Thanks for that, Malik. We'll check back in with you at the next half hour. So, Chris, $1 million question: when are we seeing this snow coming?
I didn't know I was getting $1 million, but yeah, later on this morning, 10, maybe 11 o'clock, I think is when it heads into the Augusta area. If you're up there where Malik is, hopefully more like about 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. So let's take a look at our first alert with the last little minute and a half of our show here. Up to 5 inches of snow around the CSRA today, so the first alert weather day is in effect for hazardous travel and extreme cold for tomorrow morning with wind chills down around 0. Snow chances will begin to ramp up around 11 o'clock this morning, really picking up 1 to 3 in the afternoon. And then snow showers, pockets of heavier snow continuing through the evening. I do think by 10, certainly 11 and 12 o'clock, the snow is out of the area and will be dry for your Sunday. As far as how much we're going to get, this is what one computer model, our in-house model, says. 1 to 3 inches is going to be commonplace. I think we all get at least that much. But again, up to the north and off to the east, those heavier pockets will be more common. Up to 5 inches is what we're going with here around the CSRA. Again, that'll be less common to get those amounts the farther south and west you go into the area. Here's your 7-day forecast. That 15 degrees tomorrow morning will feel like about 0 to 5. We'll melt away a little bit of snow tomorrow, but not much, with a high of only 37. Back down to 15 Monday, but then we warm it up. That 42 on Wednesday morning may just feel like springtime. Chance of rain again by midweek. We'll be right back.
Live from Augusta with a First Alert weather update.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for watching News 12 this morning on WRDW. Now streaming live on WRDW+. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Jones. We are continuing our coverage with a First Alert weather day for snow coming to most parts of the CSRA. We have team coverage getting you ready bright and early this morning. We're starting off with your First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant in Wilkes County right now, waiting for the first flakes to fall there.
Yeah, before we get to him, though, let's send things over to the Weather Center where First Alert meteorologist Chris Still is tracking the snow. Chris?
Well, it's been a while since we saw as much snow as we're going to see today. In fact, it could be all the way back to 2010 since we saw more snow than what we expect for today. It's definitely a rare treat for snow lovers. On the other hand, it's going to cause some trouble on the roads out there for today and tomorrow as well. So the First Alert weather day is in effect for the possibility of up to 5 inches of snow, the likelihood of 1 to 3 inches, and extreme cold with the wind chill values by tomorrow morning very, very close to zero. Winter storm warning in effect for that possibility of 2 inches or more of snow all around the CSRA. And the farther east you go, especially Columbia area, the PD, Grand Strand of South Carolina, getting 6 to 9 inches of snow. It could even be close to a foot across portions of North Carolina. Here in the CSRA, 1 to 3 inches will be commonplace. Areas getting more than that will be more and more common the farther north and east you go. So McCormick, Edgefield, Aiken, Saluda County, you have a very, very good chance of getting 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow. Farther south, 2 to up to about 4, maybe 5 inches of snow in some areas are going to be likely in Augusta down toward Waynesboro, and then it tapers off a little bit as you go farther to the south. But again, the winter storm warning in effect for all of us. When's the snow going to get here? You're probably wondering that if you've looked out the window. Well, it may take until around 10 to 11 o'clock for it to find its way into the Augusta area, but I do think by 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the snow is falling. It could be on the heavy side, and it will continue deep into the evening tonight. In fact, it may be 10, 11 o'clock tonight before we really start to see an end to the snow. Temperatures are plenty cold, and they're going to get colder as we head through the day. 31 right now in Evans. You'll be down to about 25 or so by mid-afternoon as temperatures fall and the snow falls. No snow falling right now, but there's a look at our First Alert radar network. The snow is picking up in intensity across western North Carolina, the upstate of South Carolina, even some flurries beginning to fly there in the Columbia area. And we do expect that area of snow to increase as we head through the day. So let's time it out on our computer model. 9 o'clock in the morning, I think we're still snow-free here in the area. As we head toward noon, the leading edge of that snow should have moved into the Augusta and Aiken area by that point, but not so far south into Sylvania, Millen, and back into Swainsboro. But by 4 o'clock, I think we're all getting some snow, maybe more scattered by that point. We're talking about pockets of heavier snow, and that's where we're going to see those bands that could get up to around 5 inches. By 8 o'clock tonight, still snow showers in the evening, and then by midnight tonight, I think it's all gone, and that's when the brutal cold weather really takes a hold. Dog Walk Forecast brought to you by Ella the Husky there, probably happy about the snow. 32 degrees at 8 o'clock, falling into the 20s with times of heavy snow for the afternoon. Here's a preview of those wind chills tomorrow morning, feeling like 1 degree by about this time tomorrow morning in places like Saluda down into Edgefield. There is some warmer weather on the way for the week ahead. We'll talk a little bit about that in your 7-day forecast in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll be on your side during this winter weather with team coverage today. If you scan this code right there on your screen with your phone, you can download our News 12 app. Your First Alert weather team will be live throughout the day with First Alert updates. The rest of our News 12 crew will be spread all throughout our viewing area with updates from the ground.
Well, both Georgia and South Carolina governors have declared a state of emergency for this weekend.
That allows state agencies to transport resources and activates the National Guard. They can start moving those resources in South Carolina to wherever help is needed the most. It'll be easier for commercial vehicles to drive since some rules and regulations are suspended to get efforts moving faster.
And Georgia's state of emergency allows GEMA to activate the State Operations Center and the National Guard if needed. The Department of Transportation can also use more resources to make sure our roads are safe. Well, the declarations put price gouging laws into effect in both Georgia and South Carolina, which is important even if we see more snow than ice here.
Areas of northern Georgia and South Carolina could see freezing rain, which could cause more damage and power outages.
We're on your side watching for the first snowflakes to fall in the CSRA. Your First Alert meteorologist Malik Bryant joining us from Wilkes County this morning.
Malik, we are getting closer and closer to those first few snowflakes we're seeing.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to those first few snowflakes out there, and trying to plan out the day. What you're going to do in the snow. If you think you're going to build a snowman, we're not expecting the wet kind of snow that kind of helps clump together. We're expecting that dry, powdery snow, so it's not going to be right for the snow making. It's going to be more of a powdery snow that's used more like skiing and stuff like that. So maybe a good snowball game is what you're going to be up to. But if you've ever tried to throw a football with these fat gloves on, I've got 2 pairs of gloves on now. I don't know if I could throw this more than 10 yards. I might have to rugby it to you. But either way, it's all about having fun today. We're going to have fun in the snow. Be safe. Do not travel unless you absolutely have to. We're going to be seeing these temperatures continue to dip well below freezing by the time it snows, which is why we're going to get that powdery snow that we're going to get. So, again, it's coming. Just patience, young Padawan. Patience, it's coming. Maybe you woke up too early. Take a nap. Take a nap. It's Saturday. Take a nap. You don't have to go anywhere. And just, once you wake up, maybe the snow will be there by then.
All right, we are hoping, and I think you could probably shot put that football more than 10 yards at this point. Maybe not a traditional throw, but I think if you give it the old track and field shot put with maybe a little spin in there, I think you're getting that thing at least 20 yards. Oh, yeah, there you go. Exactly. Hey, the Olympics, well, these are the Winter Olympics, but I was going to say they're coming up here pretty soon. But all right, Malik, we will check back in with you shortly. Hopefully the snow is coming here soon. Thanks, Malik. Well, sticking in Georgia, the Department of Transportation is ready to continue treating the roads at the first sign of snow. Crews were out yesterday brining the roads as the cold weather stuck around. But there's only so much they can do as the snow falls and temperatures remain below freezing like the First Alert weather team expects. Making a phrase you've heard from us a lot in the last 3 weeks, ring true. Stay off the roads if you can.
We see crashes on a sunny day. Now, we're going to throw in some snow, some icy conditions, like it's going to be slippery, and people aren't used to driving in that kind of stuff around here. So, I mean, even if you think you're awesome, you can drive in this stuff, just think about all the people around you who are very inexperienced too.
That's some good advice right there. And should you have to drive today or tomorrow, as always, slow down, keep your distance from cars in front of you, and stay alert out there. If you do start to skid, look and steer in the direction you want to go, and ease off the gas if you are trying to go uphill.
Well, moving to South Carolina now for a live look from our sister station there, WHNS in Greenville, where snow is already falling there. It's very fast, but you can see a flake or two on our camera there. SCDOT saying it's prepared for its 3rd week of winter weather.
We're in South Carolina, folks come here for the weather, not necessarily for snow and ice. But so, it's not something we deal with normally. We do have the infrastructure to deal with it, but we're not Buffalo, New York in terms of what we have to deal. So we'll be ready to deal with it. Our folks are experienced and prepared.
Well, the South Carolina Department of Public Health has opened its triage line for anyone to call and determine their eligibility for medical equipment power shelters. You can call the triage line 24 hours a day starting at 8 this morning. That number, along with their care line number, is on your screen now. A medical equipment power shelter is an emergency shelter with limited support for people who need backup power for medical reasons.
While kids may be thinking about the snow day today, our area schools are thinking about road conditions for Monday.
That's right. Most schools in the CSRA say they're still monitoring the road conditions, but Emmanuel County schools have said they will be closed on Monday with plans to reopen on Tuesday. Many school events over the weekend are being postponed as well or canceled because of this weather.
Some families may be bracing for the cold temperatures without heat. That's because Georgia Power resumed utility disconnections after last weekend's ice storm. But help is available. Local nonprofits like the Salvation Army and Community Ministry of North Augusta are stepping in.
But what we also do is we will encourage individuals that if you're struggling to make ends meet when it comes to utility assistance, then what we'll say is allow us to help with food. And then money that you would have spent on food, you can now put towards your energy bills. And so it's a little bit of a give and take.
He adds it's a first-come, first-served basis at the Salvation Army of Aiken. The community ministry will help you find a middle ground with Dominion Energy and help pay part of your utility bill. They say usually their limit is $300, but they are working to up that to $500. The Augusta Dream Center is also working to keep people warm. They're asking the community for space heater donations to help those in need. Officials say the need has gone up in recent months, and they've already gotten calls from people willing to donate.
As the weather started changing, we started getting calls. Many of our families have to decide, am I going to get food? Am I going to get my medicine? Or am I going to pay my utility bills? And so people that have like gas heat, especially, they'll go without getting their gas turned on. And so we started collecting the heaters so that we can help bring some warmth into those homes.
They're also giving out gloves and hats. If you want to help, we have links on our website, WRDW.com, on how you can reach out to donate or find the center's Amazon wish list. And remember, if you are using a space heater, always put it on a flat surface away from anything flammable. Officials say plug them directly into the wall, not on a power strip or an extension cord. Don't block any exits or doorways either. Make sure you read the instructions fully before using it and never go to sleep while that space heater is on.
And experts say another hazard with this is carbon monoxide poisoning if the device burns fuels to keep you warm. That's a colorless and odorless gas that gives you a headache, nausea, and even dizziness. In some cases, death if you inhaled the gas for too long. Should you feel these symptoms, just go outside, and if they do not clear up, then please call 911.
And we are going to have dangerous wind chills headed our way tomorrow morning to go with the snow that we have in our forecast. I'll have all the details coming up after the break.
Welcome back here. It's 7:45 as we take a live look at Atlanta. And Chris, we're talking about more snow than they're going to see there.
Yeah, more than Atlanta. Usually, they're a little farther north than we are, so we kind of get ripped off in that way if you're a fan of snow. But yeah, we're going to get some of the heavier totals here in eastern Georgia, especially over into South Carolina. That's why the first alert weather day remains in effect. We've had it in effect all week. And really, the forecast has not changed a whole lot this morning. I think 1 to 3 inches of snow will be commonplace, and it is entirely possible you could get up to 5 inches of snow in your area between now and about midnight tonight. Wind chills by tomorrow morning going down close to 0. So we'll keep the first alert weather day in effect for tomorrow as well. Plus the roads are going to be very slick with temperatures that cold and snow on the ground. Winter storm warning is in effect for today and tomorrow for the entire CSRA, and the criteria for this that they're using is 2 inches or more of snow. So if you live in our area, it's possible you'll have at least 2 inches of snow today. Here's what our in-house computer model has to say about it. 1 to 3 inches commonplace. And before you focus too much on the number over your hometown, notice the tendency here. The farther north and east you go, the heavier the amounts. The darker blue over there in the Midlands of South Carolina, that's where they'll have 6 inches or more of snow, possibly even close to a foot across parts of North Carolina. But it does, in general, decrease as you go west and south of the Augusta area. So 1 inch of snow there in Waynesboro, entirely likely, but if one of the bands does set up over your area, you could easily get 3 or 4 inches of snow that far to the south as well. So the accumulation is going to be a bit of a wild card today. I do think we all get enough snow to cover the ground, and where those bands do set up, the snow could be 4 or 5 inches deep. Wind will be an issue today. We'll have some blowing snow. This will be a very dry, powdery snow that blows around on the roads and really doesn't stick in the trees and stuff. So power outages should be very, very isolated. So there's some good news there. But temperatures are going to be brutally cold. This is your forecast wind chill values at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Feeling like the teens for the afternoon. By 7 o'clock tonight, snow showers still falling. Wind chill values around 10 to 15 degrees. Midnight tonight, the snow is gone, but it'll feel like about 5 to 10 degrees around the area. And by this time tomorrow morning, that'll be the coldest wind chills right there, consistently 0 to about 5 degrees is what it will feel like by this time tomorrow morning. And that's why an extreme cold weather warning is in effect by 10 o'clock. That's when that does expire, as those wind chill values finally get up to about 12 to 15 degrees. We're already below freezing, 34 right now in Thompson, but 29 there in Lincolnton. These temperatures fall into the mid-20s for the afternoon. As far as where the snow is right now, heavier snow forming across Charlotte back into the upstate, and upper level low is on its way with more energy. Basically, it's a pool of cold air aloft, and that will give us the lift we need to squeeze the snow out of the very cold and dry air at all levels of the atmosphere. And later on this morning, say about 10 o'clock or so, that's when the snow should start to pick up, and then it will press on to the south. So it may be later in the day for Swainsboro, Millen, and Sylvania before you start to see the snow. But again, I think we all get our fair share. 6 o'clock tonight, maybe a little more scattered, and then by midnight, the snow exits the area. So your forecast today, it will be a breezy day. North winds at 10 to 15, gusting near 25. Temperatures in the mid-20s. That dry snow blowing around. It's definitely going to feel and look a little bit like a blizzard today. 16 or low tonight in Thompson. That will feel like 0 to 5. First alert weather day again tomorrow, starting off around 15 degrees. 37 the high tomorrow. Back into the teens again Sunday night. But after that, the week ahead's a little warmer, and there is another chance of liquid rain coming in here Wednesday into Thursday.
All right, thanks, Chris. Now's a good time to download our First Alert Weather app if you don't already have it. You can scan this code on your screen with your camera phone here. The code will take you to your app store where you can download the app for free. It gives you real-time alerts about the weather around you, and you can customize your notifications so you only get the weather in your specific area.
Well, we're on your side now with a safety alert this morning. It's important to make sure your kids are wearing the correct clothes outside this weekend.
And anytime there are these brutally cold temperatures, your kids should be dressed in layers with wind and waterproof clothes. Any exposed skin should be covered. Hats and scarves as well as gloves, those are the key. And you can even layer socks too.
Start their day off right. They'll be warm. They won't be worried about how cold they are. You know, that when they get to school, they can also always take some of those layers off so that they'll be comfortable in the classroom.
And remember, if your kid rides in a car seat, make sure to remove any bulky coats so they can be securely strapped in.
And there are overnight shelters to turn to here in Augusta, the community center at May Park, the Augusta Rescue Mission, and the Garden City Rescue Mission, which only serve men. On your screen now are the check-in times for each shelter.
Before you go, you do need to get clearance for those. You can do that at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Go to the Records Bureau in person if it's before 5 o'clock. If it's after 5, give them a call at 706-821-1080, and a deputy will come to you. Chris?
And we're still tracking the snow as it heads in our direction. There's your First Alert Radar Network. Widespread snow across western North Carolina, the upstate of South Carolina. We'll have a final check on your forecast. Not really a final check, but another check after the break.
Welcome back here at 7:52, and we're not used to seeing the amount of snow that we're expecting to get today.
That's right. So we're on your side, making the most out of our snowy forecast this morning. Your First Alert meteorologist, Malik Bryant, joining us from Wilkes County.
Malik, we're still checking on you. How's it looking out there?
Hey, it's looking the same way it did just a couple of minutes ago, but that's all going to change here over the next couple of hours, especially as we head into the afternoon here. Now, I did want to show you where I am here in downtown Washington. Now, this is what we call the square. Behind me, you got the fountain, all right? This fountain is really nice, and it's a part of all the historic things going on here. It's got a site of 1817 Wilkes County Courthouse there, and you pan around and going to the left here, you can just see the rest of the square. Take a little snapshot in your brain here of what it looks like without snow. And we'll keep going to the left here, and you can see where we've been seeing the cop cars and the sheriff trucks driving just back and forth through downtown Washington here. But imagine what this is going to look like when we put about 2 inches. I mean, that's all we need for it to be a winter wonderland here in the CSRA. But imagine what that's going to look like when we do see that type of snow here. So it is going to be something exciting. It's going to be something that we're looking forward to. And it's something that we're just only a couple of hours away from here as well. So, I mean, we're not very far away from it at all. Sometimes I think I see a little bit of something fall here and there. So it's just a matter of trying to penetrate some of this dry air we're dealing with and just it coming down. There've already been snow reports out of North Georgia, and even some is even far south as the North Atlanta Metro there that I've seen some flurries throughout this morning. So the snow is there. It's coming. Maybe you just woke up early. Snow's not running late. Snow's on its own time. It's going to get here when it wants to. But we're waiting on it. It's coming, and we can't wait for it to be here.
I almost feel like we're tracking Santa.
Right,
you know, it's like we've got teams on the ground everywhere. We're keeping an eye on the skies. Like, and it's way more exciting than last week because we were tracking ice that could knock out power and mess up
That
roads and
wasn't
stuff.
fun.
But this weekend, it's like you don't have to go anywhere. Kick back with a cup of coffee, you know, and enjoy the kids outside in the snow and just wait for it.
Exactly. We just had somebody bring us some hot chocolate here. That is just how nice Washington is. Someone saw us and decided that they were going to bring us some hot chocolate to keep us warm out here because they want us to be here when it snows. We need NORAD's help out here to help us track the snow because once you get so fine here and see some flurries, it's hard for the radar to pick up on that. So we need some NORAD. We need military grade technology in order to track the first of these flurries here on the northern front of the CSRA, where we could see the first accumulating snow as we head into the afternoon.
All right, thanks, Malik. I don't know about NORAD, but we got First Alert meteorologist Chris Still standing by here with our final check of the weather before we wrap things up for the morning show.
We sure do. First Alert weather day in effect, as Malik was telling us, and you know, I don't know where you would have to be hiding to not know about the snow chance today, but up to 5 inches of snow, a good possibility. 1 to 3 inches seems like a safe bet, and that is going to cause hazardous travel. Extreme cold moves in here as we head toward tomorrow. Snow chances hour by hour as we move through the day today. By 1 o'clock, a 90% chance of the snow becoming heavy at times, continuing into your Saturday evening. Things will be wrapping up this evening. As far as how much we're going to get, this is what our in-house model says. Anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, I think a safe bet. If one of the bands does set up over your area, up to about 5 inches, and the odds of that happening will increase the farther east and north that you go, say Edgefield and into Saluda, but even down toward Louisville. Notice one of those heavy bands, entirely possible in your area too. Our bird watching forecast calling for dropping temperatures and falling snowflakes as we head into the afternoon. Regional view of the radar is showing most of the snow still in North Carolina, but it's increasing across North Georgia. In the Augusta area, I think we start 10 to 11 o'clock will be when this all begins and just increases throughout the day. Snow's out of here by midnight, but it's going to be brutal cold tomorrow, starting off feeling like 0 to 5, only 37 the high tomorrow. Much warmer, or at least a little bit warmer for the week ahead. More updates throughout the day.